very familiar face. It's the Ford Ranger, double cab. They're popular, they've been around for a long time. But this one is a slight blast from the past, can I call it? Because if you take a look over here, it tells you it's the 2.2. Of course, the 4-cylinder diesel with a 6-speed auto, which is, of course, the oldest school, previous generation, shall I call it, as opposed to that new 2-liter turbo diesel that's around nowadays. You've got the nice big side step over here. You've got a good roll bar at the back. The typical double cab over here. You have a look. Nice legroom and space in the back seat. Plenty of room for the family or for the crew or for anything else that you require from the vehicle. And you come, of course, to the back over here, to the load area. Takes a ton if you wanted to. It can take a load. Tow bar, nice big step at the back to get up if you want and climb up and do your thing. And you look over there, of course, it does tell you it is the XLS version, and round the corner it tells you it is a 4x4 as well. So it's got all the features, all, of course, the features that you are used to on the Ford Ranger. Let's check inside for a bit. Inside the cab, and it may be a little bit old school, but so what? What I do like is the fact that you can set the trip computer to show you 4 of the important figures all at once. And you look over here, we've just done 452 kilometers on this test so far, showing 9.3 liters per 100. Certainly a very, very acceptable, normal return for a vehicle of this type with an automatic gearbox, etc. You've got your typical multi-function steering wheel, which includes, of course, cruise control and all your controls on this side. It's all very standard. And then you come over here and you have a look, of course, what is a little bit, again, old school, but I'll come to it in a minute, is you've got a very, very small screen over there, which does, of course, include a reverse camera as well for when you need it. So at least you do get that feature. It certainly does help you a lot as well. 6-speed automatic gearbox, as I mentioned. And the interesting thing about this one is this is that ultra smooth, lovely combination matching to the 2.2-liter diesel. To the right of the gear lever, you've of course got your knob over here to switch between 2 high, 4 high and 4 low. Just turn it simply like that, nice and easy. You've got a diff lock over there, you've got hill descent control, all the knobs, the buttons and the controls that you can possibly want. So what's the difference with this one compared to, I've shown you videos on the newer generation, shall I call it, and the newer versions of the Ranger double cab? Well, as I said, this is the oldest school. The engine puts out 118 kilowatts, 385 newton meters of torque, which is absolutely plenty. Good or decent fuel economy. No, you haven't quite got the urge of that new version of the engine, but of course the idea is to save some money. And talking money, this version, as we're in right now, is retailing right now, current list price, 538,000 Rand. As double cabs go, and I'm talking the Ford Ranger, the Hilux, and that range, can I call it, that's certainly a very competitive price when it gives you all it gives you on this one. I think, considering it is older school, maybe Ford, you could look at even sharpening your pencil a bit on that price, quite honestly. A newer fascia over here, a more up-to-date touchscreen would be a nice feature, but again, I don't think it's important because this one is falling more into the working category, I think, than the pure leisure category that the upper models are going into. It comes with all the standard warranties, service plans, etc. that Ford will give you, and we all know how reliable, how tough, how built Ford tough, as they call it, the Ranger is. Interesting option. As I said, comes in that little bit cheaper because you are getting the older school technology and you're not getting leather, you're getting cloth and a few things like that. But it still gives you 6 airbags and other features of that sort. Overall, it's always a case of you pay your money, you take your choice, and you've got to decide where exactly your budget is going to run you when it comes to a vehicle of this sort. But it will do the job, I can tell you that much. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.